Hi guys. In this video, I want to go over the practice. You can see that I already wrote out the loop rule and the junction rule as it applies to the circuit that I gave you. Again, starting with this point being the zero voltage, it's Vt minus V1 minus V2 minus V3 or minus V4. Those are the two different loops. If I want to run a loop over here, I would see that V3 and V4 are equal. Also, I could have just said that parallel branches are, the voltage across parallel branches is equal. So how do you solve for this stuff? Oh, and then the junction rule. This is the key point. This is where the current splits. It's I2 going in, splitting into I4 and I3. So that's this guy. And then there's no splits between I total, I1 and I2. So that's why they're all equal. Let's see. So the solving for this stuff now is just like a game of relating this and this to what you need. I made this a little bit trickier than I wanted. So basically, if you want to solve for V1 or V3, it's tough because in the loop rule, you have only two knowns. And I didn't give you resistances, so that's why even if you wanted to use your handy Ohm's law, you can't, like if you don't know the resistances. So that's not a viable path. So here, there's only one way to do it, and it's to recognize that, oh, if R1 is equal to R2, then the voltage drop across R1 will be equal to the voltage drop across R2. And another way of saying that is like based on the junction rule and Ohm's law, I1 times R1 is going to be equal to I2 times R2. The current is the same and the resistances are the same. Therefore, V1 is equal to V2. So a little tricky. Don't worry if you didn't see that. It's kind of a symmetry thing. So now, based on that, I can use this equation 1, and I see that Vt is 10 volts. So that's 10 volts minus V1 is 4 volts, and V2 is 4 volts, and now there's just V3 left. So I can see that V3 is 2 volts, and that's also equal to V4. And then the second part is I1, I2, and I3. If I just apply equation 5 here and plug in the values, that means that I2 is equal to 1 amp plus 2 amps, and that is equal to 3 amps. And then using the other junction rule, I total is equal to I1 is equal to I2, which is 3 amps. You can also see how now that I have the current through resistor 4 and I have the voltage across resistor 4, I can solve for the resistances if I want to. Also, you have I1 and V1, so you can solve for the resistance there if you wanted to. All right, that's it for this problem.